Today we're going to be learning some number types in Python. So let's open up our Python shell and let's start with integers. So I'll declare my integer here. Integers are basically whole numbers, and this particular number is the max size of an integer in Python 2. In Python 3 the size limit is removed, so we can go as big as we want, and you can check that that's an int type by doing type and then passing I into it. Another type that we have in Python 3 is a float, and you can declare a float like so, and a float is basically a decimal. So let's check the type of f, and you can see it's a float. And the third type is a complex number. Let's say z equals 5, which is the real part of the complex number, and then 2.3, which is the imaginary type, and to indicate it's imaginary we put a j there. So if we check the type of z, we can see that it's a complex type. Now, because the complex number has a real part and an imaginary part, you can access them separately. So if we do z.real, we can get the real part, and if we do z.imag, we get the imaginary part. And as you can see, they're both stored as floats, and you can check that by doing type, and if we pass z.imag, it'll tell you that it's a float. Now let's say we have x equals 9 and y equals 9.6. So we can change floats into ints and ints into floats. We can do that by, so let's say we want to change int into a float. We do float and then pass x in there, which will give you back x as a float, so 9.0. If we want to turn y into an integer, we can do int and pass y in there, and that will give you 9. So not what you would have really expected, because what that does, it drops the decimal part of it. Now if you wanted it to round it up to an integer, you would have to use round and then pass y in that way, and that will give you the correct rounded value. So now that we know our types of numbers, we can do various operations with them. So we can add them together like this, or you can subtract numbers from each other. So let's do x minus 1. You can do some multiplication, so x times 3, and you can also do some division, so 7 divided by 2, 3.5. Now with that, if you wanted to get a remainder from the division, you can use the modulus. So modulus is a percentage sign, so 7 modulus 2, and that'll give you the remainder, which is 1. And you can also get the quotient by using the double slash. So if we do 7 double slash 2, gives you back 3. So it rounds down the value to the nearest whole number. And that's the quick introduction to numbers with Python. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment below, and I'll see you next time with some booleans.